Oscar Piastri's lead at the top of the championship now stands at 31 points over his McLaren teammate Lando Norris, but the way it happened at Monza left fans shaking their heads. What should have been a simple fight for second place behind Verstappen turned into a messy episode of pit stop blunders, radio debates, and team orders that no one really understood. The Australian ended up paying the price for a mistake that wasn't even his own, and the fallout could have bigger consequences for McLaren than anyone wants to admit. The race itself was another reminder of Verstappen's strength. After a year where McLaren has looked untouchable on most weekends, this time it was Red Bull's champion who walked away with it. He controlled the strategy, switched to the hards at the right moment, and left everyone behind, including both McLarens. His gap at the flag, more than 19 seconds, said everything. It was the Verstappen of 2023, the one who seemed unbeatable no matter what the opposition tried. But instead of talking about Verstappen's comeback drive, all eyes turned to the orange cars behind him. The chain reaction started with Norris leading Piastri, both trying to manage the threat of Ferrari. McLaren decided to stop Piastri first, a logical call given that he was under pressure. Norris followed a lap later, but his stop dragged on for nearly 6 seconds, a disaster at a track where tenths matter. That delay handed Piastri second place on track. At that point, the outcome should have been clear. Norris lost out because of the pit crew, not because of Piastri's timing. But that wasn't how McLaren saw it. Over the radio came the message to Piastri that he had to give the place back. His reply was sharp, a reminder that the team had always agreed slow pit stops were simply part of racing. Still, he yielded. The sight was painfully familiar. Only a year ago in Hungary, Norris was told to do the same thing, handing back a position to Piastri. And though he didn't like it, he obeyed. This time, it was Oscar's turn to be the sacrificial lamb. The problem is that moments like this don't just fade. Fans remember. The media runs with it. And the drivers, even if they don't show it in front of the cameras, keep it stored away. A young driver like Piastri, who has been almost flawless this season, won't forget being forced to surrender a position because the pit wall panicked over fairness. What made it worse was Verstappen's reaction after the race. From my side, a bad pit stop can happen the same way an engine can break, or if you make a mistake on your own. That is just part of racing. So yeah, I had to laugh a little that he had to give the position back. I'll leave it there. He didn't hold back laughing that a bad stop is simply part of the game, the same as an engine failure or a driver mistake. He couldn't understand why McLaren would interfere in such a natural racing outcome. Coming from someone who has lived through enough inter-team fireworks at Red Bull in his early years, that statement carried weight. It was as if Verstappen was saying out loud what many fans were already thinking. McLaren had overmanaged the situation and made themselves look weak. After the race, Lando Norris explained that the team had agreed on the policy beforehand, and that if the roles were reversed, he would have been the one to move aside. He emphasized that the approach was part of the wider plan for the championship. Norris gained 3 points in the standings, but the decision generated discussion about McLaren's strategy. Oscar Piastri also shared his perspective. "We said that a slow pit stop was part of racing, so I don't really understand what's changed here. But if you really want to do it, then I'll do it." Piastri noted that he did not see the reasoning behind the instruction, but followed the team's decision. Former world champion Nico Rosberg commented on Sky Sports that these moments usually require internal discussions within a team. He added that pit stops are typically part of racing and that adjusting outcomes through orders could create new dynamics between drivers. He suggested that Piastri may continue to reflect on the situation regardless of his calm response in interviews. This was not the first time McLaren's strategy raised questions. In Hungary last season, a similar situation led to outside discussion. With a repeat decision at Monza, observers highlighted a possible trend. Jamie Chadwick noted during the broadcast that once such scenarios occur more than once, they naturally become a topic of conversation and a source of attention for the team. Norris's overall performance was strong. At the start, he nearly took the lead from Max Verstappen, forcing the Red Bull driver wide before Verstappen cut the chicane and rejoined ahead. The FIA quickly intervened, instructing Verstappen to give the position back. He complied, but then regained the lead by lap 4 and maintained it until the finish. Norris stated afterward that Red Bull's pace was ultimately superior. Instead of focusing on the double podium, McLaren was asked about the use of team orders and how they manage fairness between drivers. These conversations emerged alongside recognition of Norris's competitiveness and Piastri's consistent performance. Looking ahead, the discussion extends beyond McLaren. Some commentators have raised the question of whether Formula One should reconsider how team orders are applied. While some suggest limiting them, teams maintain that such strategies are necessary when managing championship goals.